Okay, what's up, everybody? What's up? Okay, yeah, it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, but I didn't give up. I'm still trading penny stocks, and right now I have the UCam Makeup app on my phone. I just find it easier to switch through the apps, and then still kind of do like a vlog showing my face. And if I just use the camera app, sometimes it'll show the front camera, not the face camera, and then like I have to block my room or something if I didn't clean it. And then I tried the Mirror app, but it had ads, and I didn't want to pay like $2 or $3 to get rid of the ads. So this was free, and it's easy for me to switch through the apps. Okay, so now I am going to talk about trading and, you know, yeah, so three things. Let's see, like I could mess around with this app. Okay, where's the unicorn? Oh my gosh, look at that. The unicorn power. Okay, what the? Do I look fabulous? Okay, seriously, what am I doing? Okay, I wanted to make a point though. How to predict. Okay, all I just have to say. Wow, am I pretty now? Okay, so now how to predict. I want to talk about three things. How to predict if a penny stock is going to spike. Okay, like that. Oh my gosh, my eye. This is fake. These fake eyelashes keep coming off. These lips. Okay. What am I doing with my life? Okay, is this how I have to get popular on YouTube now? Honestly, I have to start like wearing makeup like these other guys that are blowing up on YouTube. Okay. What was it? Okay, so my point though, three things that cause. And where was the crazy? There was like a crazy unicorn look on here. I think unicorn mad. Yeah, unicorn. Oh my gosh. Okay, so changes my eye colors too. Okay, so I don't know. Do unicorns neigh, whatever? Okay, so I want to talk about three things that make a penny stock spike like this big, like my unicorn horn right there. Okay, so the three things are the stock needs to have big news, the stock needs to have some float rotation, and record high volume. So now let's get into that. Wow. Now, do I look fabulous or what? Okay, let's. So, the three things that I look for, let's discuss them, and I will talk. So, let's see. So, on my recent trades here, okay, so first of all, at the bottom, you could see I did deposit another $100 into my account. This is a used stock trade account. Okay, and then every month they have a $1 membership fee. That was deducted, and then I did a trade where I bought 25 shares only of MRIN at 460, or that was okay. But anyway, first, if you pause, you could see that I bought this in the morning, and this is showing when the market opens Eastern time. Okay. And then I sold for a loss on the 18th, and that was like a 15% loss. But let's see, why did I buy this stock in the morning? So first thing we said, okay, what's the first thing oh my gosh, what's the first thing we said? We want the stock to have big news. So did it have big news on that day? Okay, so if we see the chart here on MRIN, this is a 4-day chart, and so we see on Monday, there's the 17th, we could see during market hours, and this is showing the market will close here at 1 o'clock or at 13 o'clock, whatever the military time. But then we see after hours on the 17th, it's spiked during because the close was like before 13 o'clock. It was like it closed like in the 250 area, and then it gapped up after hours there, and then we see here Tuesday 18th now. Okay, it's still kind of holding its high, and then the pre-market high here was like 450, I think. Yeah, open high 450. Okay, so let's see. Big news. Okay, was there big news? So we said that was like on the 17th, Monday. Okay, so I went to Yahoo Finance app, MRIN. Okay, on Monday was the 17th. We see some news. So they announced updated fourth quarter guidance. I'm thinking at first, but then when I read here, announced I entered into 3-year revenue sharing agreement with Google. Okay, so anytime like a penny stock, it does something with a big company, that's big news. Okay, so like that was a penny stock. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then so it did something with Google, and Google is a big company, so that means big. Okay, so that counts as big news. Okay, so ingredient number 2, float rotation. Okay, so float, public float now. Let's see, what is that? Okay, so we see it did have some big news. So now, the float rotation is how many shares are being traded. Okay, I don't know if I guess I'm gonna really talk like this with this on the whole time. We'll see. Okay, so float rotation, so public float first, that's like how many shares are available to be traded. So that's like the supply. Okay, and so then a low float. So if the stock has a low float, it'll tend to have more float rotation. And float rotation happens when the stock is trading more volume. Or let's say if like the float was 5 million and the stock ended the day with like 10 million, we say it rotated through its float 2 times. So that counts as float rotation. Okay, and normally that happens with stocks that have low float, like 10 million or under. So let's see now, let's check the float of MRIN. Okay, so the float, so one way you could check the float if you go, excuse me, I burped, that was, okay, okay, accidentally, Siri messed me up. Okay, so one way to check the float, we go down here to public, so here on Yahoo Finance app, we search in the ticker. This is MRIN, Marion Software Incorporated. Scroll down here, view more data. Okay, I scroll down, 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 all the way to the bottom, then go up, share statistics, float. According to this, is about 3 million. 3 million float. Okay, but I really like to go check the SEC files, and under the latest 10Q report, they list the shares outstanding, common shares outstanding, and that's a more updated um, representation of the float. So let's see, because sometimes Yahoo Finance float is a little not updated. So on the NASDAQ is one way to check SEC files for tickers. We type in the ticker MRIN. I scroll down here and we see SEC filings. Okay, so the latest 10Q report that was on the right there on the 9/30 on the 9, okay, or this was filed 11, wait, what? Oh, okay, so this was the latest 10Q report. It was filed on 11/13. Okay, and so then under here, usually under this first section here before the page number there, 1, we see at the bottom, or now at the top, as of November 6, 2018, the registrant had about 5.7 million shares of common stock. So the float, so that's, the float now is, the accurate float is about 5 million or 5.7 mil. Okay? And so now, so are you still with me? People, oh my god, no. Why, where did you go? Okay, here you missed my, let's see, magic. Magic. Bam. Okay, now we're back. So, bear with me. This is a long lesson, but so 3 things. So it had big news. So now let's see. We got the float. So now, in order to check, did it have float rotation? We need to look at the volume that it traded on the day. So we will look at the daily chart. So, or here. So an easy way, I want to think or swim. And now let's see why Oh, here. So here, just one day. So let's see, this was on the 18th and 19th. So he said float was about 5 million, 6 million. Well, on this day, on the 19th, okay, 20 million. So that did like 3, 4 float rotations. So he said big news float rotation. So that's what it looks like. And then the third thing is record high volume. So whenever a stock has big news, float rotation, and record high volume, those are the ingredients to cause a stock to spike big like this unicorn horn. And by big, I mean it's going to gain 50 to 100% or more in a day. Those are the three ingredients that cause the stock to spike that big. And now to see if it's record high volume, on here we could see the gray bar under this big green candle, and that red candle up there represent the volume. And we see here, if you see where it says open, high, low, close range volume, 7 million, and then volume on 11/19th, 20 million. And so just very easily we could go here to the 1 month chart, 20 years. Okay, so each candle now represents 1 month. And we see here the last month, bam, it had 28 million. And we saw the past 2 days, it basically traded those 28 million, that 28 million volume. Okay, and so this is like, yeah, all of its life. This company seems like it started in 2014 for the month. It couldn't even really get over 1 million. So this is record high volume now. Okay, so if we look here, 5 years, we see the volume bar is way up there. Nothing comes close on the 5-year 1-day chart. Okay, here it gets big, but it's not. Okay, 50, 31, 300K. So see, it's not over 1 million there. So anyway, that's record high volume. So those are the three things that cause a stock to spike big. Okay, so then when I bought it in the morning now, we could review the trades again. So when I bought in the morning here, why did I buy on the 18th? But then I sold for a loss, and then I bought the same stock again, if you see on the top, on the 19th. But first, let's talk about the morning trade. So why did I buy it in the morning of the 18th? And you could pause and see the times if you want. But here I'll just take a note of the time that I sold and got executed at 4:05. That was like at 10:03. So that is New York time. Okay, and then when I bought, I bought like at first at 4:16, but it didn't get executed. So if we see, whoa, let's go back. 1 day, 1 minute. Okay, or let's go here 4 days, 1 minute, so we could see this day where I bought here. So the first time when I bought, okay, I could kind of already anticipate it was going to be record high volume, because right out of the first 1 minute candle at 6:30, already traded 4 close to 4,000, 4,000 volume, or 400,000 volume. Okay, and when we saw on the chart, we saw like this is about like the average volume it'll get for a month. So I thought, okay, if in 1 minute it already did that volume, and then I anticipated that, okay, it's going to have record high volume. And I already looked at the flow and I anticipated, okay, maybe by the end of the day, it's probably going to trade over 5 or 6 million at this rate. So I anticipated the float rotation, and so I bought, at first when it did the breakout, and normally if the stock gets gaps like this pre-market, we said the pre-market high was like 450, and then the moment it breaks the pre-market high, usually that causes a morning spike, and that's why we get this big green candle, because right out of the gate it broke the pre-market high. I think the first time I bought, I was trying to like buy in the 460s because it just broke it very fast, but it didn't get executed, and then I bought somewhere here at, if you saw it, when I paused like at 480, or got executed a little lower. But anyway, the problem with buying right out of the gate like this is there isn't much good risk reward. Okay, because if I say, okay, I bought here at 480, my reward, I could say, is like, okay, it might retest the high of day, which is about $5. So I could say, okay, I could make like 18 cents if I bought it at 480. Okay, like 20 cents, 18-cent reward. But then I go, okay, what's my loss? Where's the support? And I could, it didn't really form any support yet. And I don't want to use the pre-market area as support because the volume is very low pre-market. We see the gray bars represent the volume, and then here we barely see the gray bars anymore because when the market opens, it trades a lot higher volume than pre-market. So I don't really want to use this as support area, and support is like where the price does a series on the candlestick chart, does a series of dips and doesn't go below that price. So here it's kind of too choppy here. We don't see it going really up and down and forming any support. But the point is I bought here and there isn't really any support. So it could easily come back down. And that's what it did. But, I was still holding. And here it's showing California time. But, it said like I sold at 4:05 here. So when it finally, or at 10:03, and, that it was showing New York time here. So that's New York time at 10:03, but so California time minus 3 hours, 7:03. So that's where I sold. There. But anyway, that was, a bad trade, and it ended up being a 15% loss, and I didn't cut my loss quickly. Okay, so anyway, but I did give you the reason. Okay, so if you're still with me, oh no, I have to do this again. Okay, well, if you see, I was even getting a little sleepy because I'm filming this at night. Okay? Unicorn magic, everybody. So if you're still with me, the reason why I explain now, why did I buy that stock thinking it's going to go higher than 480 or retest its high and break out? Because of those three reasons. Big news. And then early on in that morning, I anticipated float rotation and record high. It had record high volume. Okay? So now if we went back on the second day, I bought in the afternoon. Okay, so this is still showing New York time. It received at 12:19. So let's see here. Okay, so at 12:19, it received and got executed at $6.42. But anyway, we obviously see by this time it did break that high of like it did go over $5. And so it was because, so now at this time, let's look at the chart. And the time. So I bought at 2:20 on the 19th. 2:20. Okay, so I could go here, this 1 day, 1 minute. Alright, I could just go back here. So yeah, when I bought here the first time in the morning on Tuesday 18th, it just kind of faded the rest of the day. Kind of in the high threes. Okay, but then on Wednesday the 19th, okay, market opens at 6:30 California time and it went up. Okay, retested that high and then it broke it. And then I showed up late. And so then around 2:20, it said I bought. So 2:20, so minus 3 hours, that's at 11:20. So right about there, I bought and got executed around 6:40. Okay, but here, if we look here, why did I buy? Why was it a better trade? Because we see now some support has formed. We kind of see a series of dips holding, in the low sixes here, 620-ish. See, it went up and went down. That's called support. And then here I was worried at first about this big red candle on high volume, but then it went up. Kind of looked like it's almost retesting that high. And then before it broke out, it did, well, okay, so I bought like here at 520 or 1120, around 640. But see, I bought there because I was going, okay, now it's dipping down again and it's looking like it's holding that support. So when I bought like at 640, I was thinking, okay, what's my risk now? I could risk like 20 cents because this is like it's holding support at 20 cents. And now what's my reward, my possible reward? Could be if it's, looking like it's going to retest its high again there, because volume's starting to pick up, and then the high before it broke out was like 705. So if I bought at 640, let's just say the high was $7. Okay, 640. I like there to at least be like 10% potential reward. So I'm risking, like 20 cents here if I buy at 640, and, risking the 620, like 20 cents to make a potential 60 cents, to retest the $7 area. Okay, and then if at 640 we go, okay, if we move the decimal point over one to the left, we get 64 cents. So 640 plus 64, that's $7, and or plus 64 cents, that's, that's about the 10% reward. And then the risk reward, since I'm risking 20 cents for potential reward to make 60 cents, from the chart before it broke out, that's like a 1. My reward is 3 times greater than my risk, so that is a good risk reward ratio. That's like a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. So that's why this afternoon trade was a lot better. And then I believed I sold like right after the big spike here. I was going, okay, my reward is met. Let me lock in my profits and let's just review. Okay, are you still with me, people? Okay. So we see here, so yeah, after I bought, so it got executed at 642. At 220, look, just 3 minutes later. 3 minutes, I made like to 9% after I did the math. And then I sold at 223. Okay, so at 223, just 3 minutes, I made like 9%. Okay, it got, yeah, I think it was when it was starting to just spike. Sold into that big green candle. I was even willing to sell at 690, but the price just jumped up higher and it got executed at $7.06. So yeah, look at that face. Okay, now, so is this 23? Yeah. So this is where I sold. Okay, and then, I just, since it was kind of, because usually after like 11:30 California time, I guess I could have held, more into that, but I just locked in my profit and I don't really regret selling. Okay, and so yeah, technically I'm still down because my loss earlier was 15%, but anyway, I hope this makes sense. Why did I buy? And I kind of expected this to happen in the morning earlier, but it didn't. But today it happened. But anyway, now I hope the risk reward, how I explained that, it makes sense. Why here it was a more favorable risk reward, and that's why I like buying more in the afternoon, or at least after 9 o'clock California time, because the chart develops and there could usually be better risk reward ratio. But if I buy early in the morning like I did, here there isn't really that great of a risk reward here because true support didn't even really form yet. And it just went up so quickly, and yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so the three things that cause a stock to spike big. Don't I look fabulous? Okay, so the three things that cause the stock to spike big: big news float rotation and record high volume. Okay, goodbye, my peeps. Mwah. Queen